They built this stairway across the broken sections. So we have two kinds of building in one frame. We have the modern building, which is the normal Roman right angle building that lets us know that this is artificial, okay? Geologists look at this and they say that must be natural because it's not Roman. Well, the people who built this weren't Romans. They were an advanced race who had possession of high technology in presumably all realms of science, right? And obviously in the realm of construction. So they knew how to mix super hard concrete. They knew how to heat the concrete. They knew how to lay massive blocks. The average size of these blocks is 15 to 20 feet. That's about a size 12 foot, right? So we're just going to move along this section. No breaks. And we come to this face. So that's about 15 feet by about 20 feet. These look even bigger right here. Massive, absolutely massive. And look how thick they are. So our stairs are this thick, and compare that to to these sections. I mean, it's incredible. So that's about 2.5 feet. You can see the construction quality once the idea of geology is banished from one's head. So we can see the marks of the molds, you know, the plywood molds that they use. We don't see the marks of the molds on this. And then we have to ask ourselves, were they so good with concrete? Was their technology so high that they didn't even have to use a mold, but they just constructed an energetic thought form mold, you know, or a sonic mold? I doubt they were using wheelbarrows, shovels, and plywood forms, you know, to build continents. So presumably this was originally a thought form blueprint, not a paper blueprint, but a thought form in the form of a blueprint, what we would call a blueprint. That's the closest word we'd have. And the thought form was able to coalesce material, and then they heated the material, probably with sonic technology, because they're not going to be firing up a kiln, cutting down trees and burning wood, and then trying to heat up concrete to build a riverbed, and then another riverbed, and then 10 million other riverbeds. That's not what's going to happen. So it's going to be sonic technology or some other kind of high-tech science that they used to create sections, okay? Once we rid ourselves of the institutional parasite of geology, and by the way, once we rid ourselves of lots of institutional parasites in the sciences, astrophysics is a bigger parasite than geology. Watch out for astrophysics. Then we can begin to understand our world, and we can begin to see that this is not an accident of nature. This is a result of natural erosion working on incredibly dense, incredibly strong, incredibly hard, incredibly durable artificial concrete mixed in a magic recipe by the ancients to create a riverbank. It's like a graveyard of sections here, a graveyard of ancient concrete. It's pretty impressive. What's impressive is that these sections stay strong. There's no cracks in the sections. You never see a crack in these sections. The only place that there's any weakness is between the sections, right? So because the ancients stopped their section there, that's where it stops today. There's no cracking anywhere else in the section. You don't see any cracks, no breaks. It's totally integral, okay? No cracks, no breaks, totally integral. If it was natural geology, you'd have some cracks, you'd have some fractures, because obviously this is old. So we don't have any fracturing, no cracks, not a sign of cracking or fracturing. It's totally strong, totally integral. The only reason it's down here is because the supporting material below it, the soft earthquake mitigating layers, and we can see the result of the water action on those softer layers right here, came out, right, over time, and there was no support, and eventually with a flood or a mega flood, these stronger sections came out. I mean, there's no choice. We're seeing the thought forms of the ancients right here. The ancients thought up this form, different from the way we think, right? We think like this, and the ancients think like this. Two civilizations. Which civilization's building is stronger? Which civilization's thought forms result in stronger concrete sections? Well, if there's an earthquake and you have a creek bank built of sections like ours, rectangles and squares, that's going to come down relatively quickly. But if you have odd shaped and odd sized, in other words, irregular shaped and irregular sized sections, like these are, right? With lots of triangle geometry, then you're going to have strong creek banks.